I got a broom. He's like, man, fuck that, I got a push water.
Yeah.
I was like, okay.
That's awesome. Yeah, I was walking trying to get everybody to turn around. That wanted to turn around and look up. Fuck, I'm almost in McKinney.
I was like, I ain't see you no more. I was like, man, where you go? Well, so state representative comes up and...
Was that him in the white truck?
Yes. He pissed me the fuck off. He comes up and I'm like, what are you doing? And this nail call right here, he's coming up on us. And he's like, you get traffic's backed up? I was like, and I got nails in the street. Traffic's gonna be backed up either because nails in the street or because everybody got flat tires.
Yeah.
Which one do you want?
Yeah.
So he decides I'm gonna go off-road and drives all the way down in the ditch.
I saw him do that.
Dude, I was so pissed.
Who was it, do you know?
Leach.
Leach?
I'm gonna look him up.
Yeah. You ready to get back in the AC?
With like a few minutes left to go in the game. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I was going to buy your coffee.
No problem.
Jeff
no problem.
Leach.
Chauncey Jones.
Chauncey Jones.
Yes, sir.
Do you tell me your first name again?
Chauncey.
Chauncey.
Yes, sir.
You want me to call you Corporal or Chauncey?
No, Chauncey's fine. Chauncey's
and
fine.
is this your...
This is my supervisor.
Hey, man, Jeff Leach. Hi, Douglas. Nice to meet you, sir. Good to see you guys. You want to sit here? I'm fine with that. Just let me get some coffee.
Okay.
I was going to buy it for you.
No problem. No problem.
Well, you owe me, so you can't. All right. So can I talk to you about what happens?
Yes, sir.
Do you mind me? I'm just going to talk briefly, and then I want to hear from you as well. If you want to say anything. Were you on scene that day too? No, you weren't. So number one, I want to apologize to you for this has nothing to do. I want you to hear me here with me running for office, with me running for re-election, with me being an elected official. This is just me as a Jeff Leach as a citizen feeling really bad about what happened that day and just wanting to make things right with you. Yeah. And so I want to apologize to you. Looking back now, I realized that I didn't handle the situation like I should have, and created more of a problem for you, and that is the last thing I want to do. I don't think there's ever been a time in my life that I can remember where I have disrespected law enforcement, like even as a high schooler. I don't even think, so I want you to know I'm sorry, really, and I mean that sincerely. So after that happened that day, I went to the airport later that afternoon and got on a plane, went to Austin for a couple of days. And I came back that Friday, I think. I don't remember what day of the week that was, but I came back on that Friday. And the second I landed back in Dallas, I got a call from a contact at the sheriff's office that I had been cited. And he didn't tell me what it was. He said, Jeff, you got anything to say about these citations? Something like that. And I'm like, I had no idea what he was talking about. He's like, you weren't cited for something in rural Collin County? And I'm like, I had no, for like a minute, I had no idea what he was talking about. And then he said something with roofing nails. And I'm like, then it all came back to me. I did not know at the time that, I knew what I did, that I probably shouldn't have done what I did. But I didn't know I had been cited for it, so it caught me off guard. But now looking back on it, I can understand why you reacted the way you did. I clearly broke the law. And I think at the time, if you don't mind me, like at the time, just from my perspective, and this isn't me justifying it or defending it, I just want to kind of explain it to you. And so from where I was in rural, I'd never been on that road before. In fact, if you told me right now to take you back to that spot, I don't think I could get you back there. I was following my map. I was trying to get out of a meeting in Farmersville and get back to Dallas. And so traffic came to a stop. Totally stand still. The map, where it says the red, where traffic was backing up, totally stand still. And I was kind of around the corner from where you were, and it was just totally stand still. There was no law enforcement presence, no emergency vehicles coming and going. It's just stand still. And I thought that at the time that, how sometimes they'll stop construction crews to stop traffic both ways and to let their vehicles go in and out. I thought that that's what was kind of going on around the corner. And so traffic was stopped. And so I was like, okay, this will take 3 to 5 minutes, maybe 10 minutes, maybe 15 minutes. And I think after about 15, 20 minutes went by and there was no movement. And like I said, I didn't see any emergency vehicles. And I saw the vehicles turning around and going back the other way. That's when I decided that I'm going to go figure out what was going on. Admittedly, and in full disclosure, I thought that there might have been a bad accident up ahead that law enforcement hadn't yet had an opportunity to respond to. And so I drove the wrong way in the lane and got up to where I saw, I don't remember if I saw a law enforcement vehicle. I think the video shows that there was your vehicle with the sirens on. But I got up and I drove up to where I saw you and I guess another gentleman in the hole sweeping, working your butt off. Have you seen the video? I mean, just working your butt off with like a yard sign or something. I don't know what you had. But I still didn't know. I don't know if you were wearing what you're wearing right now. I don't know if you had your vest on. I think you had your green on, and I think you had like a pullover or something.
Traffic vest.
Yeah, and so I still didn't know you were law enforcement until you turned around and I saw that you were law enforcement. And I didn't know there were roofing nails. So when I drove up, I had no idea. If I knew there were millions of roofing nails everywhere, there's no way I would have driven up. In fact, I'm surprised that my truck didn't get flat tires. So I got out of my vehicle and I was asking you guys, I did not want to, and I think this is what bothers me the most. I haven't yet seen the video and I don't know if I will, but I didn't mean to like throw my weight around. I thought that you would see my license plate that says state official, and I just wanted to introduce myself to you. Hey, Representative Jeff Leach, I represent that area. I was really trying to be helpful, and then I realized very quickly, I can't do a dang thing to help. I had a leaf blower in the back of my truck, and I had just taken it out before I got in my truck that day. I didn't, and you were mad that I was there, and for good reason. For good reason, and you are right and I am wrong. I don't want there to be any equivocation, but in my mind at the time I was thinking maybe I could help what was going on. So then I had a decision to make about how the heck I got out, because I realized I was creating more of a problem for you than not. And so I decided, I looked around, and again I haven't seen the video, but my recollection is I looked around and decided the best way to do it was to go around the embankment, kind of off the side of the road. I'm really sorry. In my mind and in my heart at the time, I thought I was doing the right thing. I really did. And I don't know, to be honest with you, the sheriff and I were talking about this. I don't know if I was in that same situation today, if I would have done anything different other than communicating more effectively with you and helping. I didn't at the time know what I could do to help. I thought that I thought the best thing for me to do was just to get out of there. I wasn't in a hurry to get anywhere. I wasn't, but I just didn't want you to feel like I was being disrespectful, because at least in my mind and in my heart at the time, I was trying to pull up to see if there's anything I could do to be of assistance. Clearly there wasn't. So I broke the law. I disrespected you. I mean, you felt disrespected at the time, and you may still feel that way. I hope you don't, because I have utmost respect for you. I'm going to plead guilty. I'm going to pay the ticket. I think it's like, $1,200 for both tickets. So I'm going to pay the ticket. And I just want you to know I'm sorry. I really am. You guys have a hard job. You have a hard job, and I feel like I made your job harder that day. So.
But here's the thing. I wasn't there, but I did watch the video. This is the beautiful thing about being here.
Yeah.
And I respect the fact that you're here.
You respect what?
The fact that you're here.
Oh, yeah.
They all make mistakes. This is what the thing I love about it. Coming from the heart about it.
Yeah.
We can say sorry. And I know he does forgive you. And originally when I first saw the video, I didn't know him. To be honest with you.
Yeah.
When I watched it, I'm like, what's going on?
Yeah.
I was just driving on the side of the road, and I had no idea what was going on. And then it was after the fact. So we were doing it, and I got it. Took the job down. I was like, okay, well, this is probably not good for me. glad you were here.
Yeah, man, let's go. No, and I thank you for saying that. And I don't expect you to say anything. You didn't do. In fact, I told the sheriff when I finally talked to him, you were working your butt off, and you. I don't mean to be you weren't making a dang difference. I've never seen so many nails. I don't know how you guys finally got that cleaned up.
Pressure washer and a bunch of brooms.
Yeah. You can see it from the video. I was like, what the? It's load out there.
Well, I did not. I could not see it until you said. Even when I drove up and got out of my car and walked up, until you said, I don't know your response is, what are you doing? You know, looking around you, there's nails. I think you said something like that. I didn't know until I looked down because they're, and they were everywhere. Like I said, I'm surprised my tires didn't deflate. You were working your butt off, and I caused you a problem, and I'm sorry. It was not my intent, but man, I'm sorry. I really am.
And I, like my lieutenant said, I don't hold any ill will or hard feelings or anything like that. And I go out and do my job every day. Half the time I couldn't tell you who I wrote a ticket to, and until I get called to court and I'm sitting here and I'm like, I still don't remember, but I don't hold any. It's a job. I come out, I try to make sure everybody's safe on the roads, and we move forward from there.
Yeah. Well, you were doing your job that day, and I feel like whether I was a citizen, well, I clearly am a citizen, but especially if you feel disrespected at all by an elected official, that cannot be a good feeling, and that was not my intent at all. And I feel terrible. I've lost sleep over this. I have. Not because of what it means or could mean. There's probably going to be a news story at some point. The body cam footage will come out. That's just the nature of the business. And we'll deal with that. But I literally told my wife that day, and I wrote you that afternoon after I got a call from the sheriff's office, and they told me that I'd been cited. Lost sleep over it. I had no idea. I knew I had caused a problem, but I didn't notice. And I wrote you a 2-page handwritten letter. It's still sitting on my desk. The sheriff thought that it would be better for us to do what we're doing now than me to send it. I still might send it to you, but I couldn't sleep not because of what that means, but because I felt like there's a police officer or sheriff's corporal, right?
Yes, sir.
That feels disrespected by me. And if my son, I talked to my family about this, talked to my boys, my son specifically, who's going to start driving next year, walked him through, kind of walked him through everything that happened, and I would want him to do the same thing, is to have high regard and respect for law enforcement. And if you mess up, which I did, make it right. So I'm going to pay my ticket, and I wanted to apologize to you, and that's the reason we're here. So
I appreciate it.
That's the thing about being, you got to be thick skinned. I've been doing it for 24 now. Thick skin. And sometimes, you know what? I can talk everything.
You okay?
what just happened?
He pulled the door, he hit himself in the face.
When you just put it behind you, it's like being a duck. Just let it roll off your back. And sometimes the things you just like, I can't really call me. But I've been doing it for so long. Like, obviously, it's not. It's the beautiful.
Yeah.
I'm a great guy. I'm a nice guy. Great.
You are a nice guy.
Yeah, I'm great.
He's a teddy bear.
I am. And that's the thing about it. It's just like, you go through life and you just like I said before, I've lost time. It's changed my whole perspective. Cherishing every relationship. Even if, me and my wife would be out, I'll be talking to somebody, I'm not that person for my life. This is not a conversation between, you know me all the time. And that's just how I am, I just cherish my interactions with people, no matter who it is. She gives me shit all the time about the two older ladies. I'm like, you are looking beautiful today. You know that lady? Nope.
She's like, you better shut your mouth.
That's just how I am.
Sure.
I enjoy my interaction with people because at the end of the day, we ain't got enough. Time ain't on our side.
No, you're right, man.
It ain't on our side. So I'm not going to be bitter every day of my life. Hold grudges. I'm just not going to do it. I'll let it roll off my back, regardless of the circumstances. We're human, and I love getting people. That's what I got to do the job.
Well, you guys, especially in your line of work, I imagine, I don't know if you still feel this way now, but I know that over the last several years, law enforcement you have felt undervalued, maybe underappreciated. You're definitely underpaid. And it's incumbent upon, guys like me who hold, whether it's positions of influence, I don't know, but who have, spheres of influence to elevate law enforcement. And I do that every chance I get. Every chance I get, and this is the one instance where I screwed up, and it has eaten away at me. It has eaten away at me, and so I almost brought my 15-year-old son this morning to meet you, but this was between us. So if something is, here's what I want to ask of you: is tell the truth. If I don't know, there will be a story at some point, and I don't want you or the sheriff or anyone else to do other than anything that say, tell the truth. And I'm going to apologize publicly. I'll own it. I'll admit it. What I don't want to be, and I'll get emotional talking about this, but I won't. I'm surrounded by people in my line of work who believe that they're somehow elevated and above the law. Who believe that they can do whatever they want without consequences, without accountability, and I think that's wrong. I think it's a cancer to our system of. I mean, I like what you said, Lieutenant. Is I'm just a normal guy who happens to hold elected office. That doesn't make me special. Doesn't make me powerful. Doesn't make me more elevated than any other person. I'm just a normal guy who made a bad mistake, who made a bad decision. And and unlike some other guys that I'm surrounded with that would try to make excuses and justify it and blow up, I just want to humbly admit to you that I messed up and do what I got to do to make it right and move on. So that's all I got to say.
Again, I appreciate your apology. Most people wouldn't do it, I don't think I've ever had an apology for writing somebody a ticket. And I've been doing this. I've written a lot of tickets in 10 years. And so, but I do appreciate it. And like I said, I probably wouldn't have recognized you at all if it wouldn't have been brought back up. I probably wouldn't have recognized you at all. Like we see hundreds of people, thousands of people, sometimes a day, a week, and I'm bad with faces. Good, okay with names, but bad with faces. So I probably wouldn't.
I wish that I had stopped, and I wish that I could have helped you. I know there was maybe another construction worker that showed up and had a broom. I had nothing. And there were so many nails out there, I don't think if I had a broom I would have done much good. So I was, anyways, I'm really sorry. And, I don't want to take up more of y'all's time than you think you got more.
We appreciate it. I appreciate it.
And you work for a great man. Jim Skinner is, I deal with all of the 254 sheriffs regularly down in Austin, and I believe that our sheriff is the best. If he's not the best, he's right up there next to him. So I hope you guys realize how honored and blessed you are to work for a guy like that.
He's definitely, I've worked for a lot of chiefs.
Yeah. Yeah.
By far, this portion of my career is probably one of the best things I've ever
Good.
loves his people. Genuinely good as a citizen. Shows that every day. On my first day, you ever see him with a smile on his face? Always straight. No BS. 100%. There's a sugarcoat. That's what I love about him.
Me too. He is, what you see is what you get with him. And what you get is a heart of gold and integrity. And, spending time down in Austin, which I've spent a lot more time down there this year than I want. I meet pretty regularly with law enforcement officers from Austin. And those guys, with what's going on in their city, they don't value their law enforcement. Their law enforcement are not only underpaid and underappreciated, but they're actually being attacked by their city government, their county, their DA. Their DA down there is indicting left and right. Instead of indicting criminals, they're going after law enforcement officers who are responding bravely and sacrificially in situations. And man, it's sad. It's just, so what's happening? So they're leaving Austin, which is making Austin more unsafe. And man, to work for a guy like Skinner, I don't know all the reasons you left Dallas, but I gotta believe you had other opportunities, and coming to Collin County working for a guy like him was, yeah.
It was definitely, because there were other guys that left Dallas and came to Collin County 7 years ago. One week from up there, but
7 years ago after the shit.
well, 7 before the shit. I was in a good spot.
Yeah.
I went street clowns, had a long beard, and, plain clothes.
Love it. So you plain clothes?
Yeah. I was like, hey, this is great. I'm recovering, man. I'm not going to make that. Then I realized it wasn't my time. Of course, everything happens for a reason. This was the right time.
Yeah. That's great, man. And you live in Little Elm, you said? How many kids do you have? I know you got 3. What about you?
I got 2
2 teenagers. They in high school out there? Man, that's a whole other. How? Tell me how old you are.
I'm 40.
You're 40. I'm 41. What are you? 50. So, and you grew up in Arkansas, South Carolina. And are these kids? Y'all know this. You have kids. They're dealing with stuff today that you and I, we never had to deal with.
Nope.
We had to deal with a lot. But those guys. It's only by the grace of God I didn't have a cell phone in high school.
I had one, but you had to buy your minutes on it.
Flip phone. Yeah. You had to buy your minutes. I remember that.
The minutes were expensive back then, so it wasn't no all-day conversation with somebody. It was a minute and you done.
Yeah. I had a pager until college, and then I finally got my first cell phone in college. Pagers.
Yeah, I remember having a pager. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. Got to go find a payphone to make a call. All right. I won't take any more of your time. Again, I'm sorry.
I appreciate it.
And I feel better having met you. I'm always a phone call away. You got my cell phone now. So if there's anything I can do for you, let me know. But I messed up. And I'm sorry. I really am. And I'm going to pay the tickets, I think, and move on down the road. So, thank you, sir.
No problem.
Good to meet you. God bless you.
You too.
Happy Thanksgiving.
And I said, don't beat yourself over.
Yeah.
No. I won't now, but thank you. I have been beating myself up. I have.
Enjoy your Thanksgiving.
I will. Are you on duty for Thanksgiving?
He's not. I am.
You are? All right.
I have it all. Thank you. You too.